No?
Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's Dallas Job Seekers Club. I'm Daisy from the Dallas Public Library, and today we're going to be talking about our GED resources, and we're going to hear from Deborah, who works in adult learning. All right,
Thank,
Deborah, whenever you're ready.
okay, thank you, Daisy. Hi, everybody, and like Daisy mentioned, my name's Deborah Johnson. I work in the adult learning department. I am the GED coordinator, so I coordinate our volunteer-led GED classes. Today, I want to give you an overview about the classes we're offering and also some information about the GED. So go ahead and get started. Okay, first of all, here are some important dates. We our fall semester is ending next week and we start up again in February. We do have open enrollment, so people can join when at any time, even though the semester, if it's the middle or even towards the end, if you're interested in joining, we always welcome students to join at any time. You can get a little, get your feet wet, get a little information about the GED and see what it's like. So even if you want to join for this last week, that would be fine, just to see, get a little more information about what the GED is and what the classes are like. And then in February, we'll be starting our classes again. Okay. Our classes are all volunteer led. We have an amazing group of volunteers and they donate their time to teach these subjects. And so here you can see this is our current schedule and the volunteers who are teaching. So it'll probably be very close to the same when we start again next February. There might be a couple changes, but it'll be more or less like this. We have, you can see we have 2 math sessions, we have 3 language arts sessions, and then we have 2 sessions where we cover social studies and science. Okay, so students can attend any class, as many classes as they would like, um, and multiple classes. For example, if you want to study, focus on language arts, you're welcome to come to all 3 of those sessions. They're all going to be a little bit different because you have different teachers, different teaching styles, but it's good too to get that reinforcement and hear that material again. So you're welcome to come to as many classes as you would like. Um, I like to go over a little information about the different uh, organizations involved in the GED. So, for example, GED.com, that's the test you're going to take. It's called a GED, and you will have to make an online account at GED.com. And it's a little noisy there. Okay, so GED is the test you take. There are 4 separate tests. And once you pass all those tests, that information gets passed along to Texas Education Agency. And this is the agency that will issue you your certificate. So, what you actually get is called a certificate of high school equivalency. So, we say GED for short, but it's actually a certificate of high school equivalency, and your certificate will not say GED on it. It will say Certificate of High School Equivalency. And that's going to be emailed to you. So you'll get that in an email. Again, that's after you pass all your GED tests. Okay, so where do we come in? We offer preparation classes. So, what we do at the library is offer free GED preparation classes to prepare you to take the tests. So, that's a little bit about the process. getting the GED and the different, different entities involved. So taking classes is completely voluntary, but for many students, it is a very necessary step to brush up on their knowledge. Okay, so like I mentioned, GED.com, that's going to be your first step in you take towards getting your GED is go to GED.com. And let's see if I can show you here. You go to GED.com and just, yes, click there on sign up, and it's going to take you through a bunch of questions, your address, your data. And this is all because it's your official account where you'll take your tests and get your official results. So you do need to sign up and make an account with GED.com. It's completely free. Okay, and we'll talk a little more about this, but on GED.com, you can purchase a GED Ready test for $6. Also on GED.com, that's where you'll eventually schedule your test. Okay, so the GED Ready test is to let you know if you are ready yet for the official test. All right. And let's see. And if you do have any questions at all, feel free to interrupt and let me know if you have any questions so far. It's a lot of information. So the GED test, that all the tests are on a computer. And right now our testing center is closed at the library. However, there are other testing centers that are open. So you still do have the option to test at a testing center. Because of the pandemic, GED.com has now made it available for you to take the test online in the comfort of your home. So this is a brand new option due to the COVID pandemic, so that people who aren't able to get to a testing center can schedule their test online. So you do need to have a computer that has a video microphone. Somebody will be proctoring the test, in fact, like watching you as you take it. So there are some steps you'll need to go through. So, but that is an option that people have now. Okay. So a lot of students wonder, do I have to take all these tests in one day? And most definitely you do not. In fact, that would be very highly discouraged, because here you can see how long each test is. And so definitely most people take one test a week, one test a month. It just depends. Once you start, there's not a time limit. So say if you want to focus on taking science first, you can take science, pass that, and then you can move on and study social studies, for example. And then when you're ready, take that test. So you're going to take each test separately, just depending on when you feel ready to take it. And okay, I want to go over a little bit more in depth about the GED and the GED test. So here's a little bit about each test. It shows you the length. And actually I had an error, I'm sorry, but the math is 115 minutes. And science and social studies are the shortest of the two tests. So a lot of people do start with social studies. That tends to be a good test to start with. It's the little typically easier for most people. So all this information is also online too at that GED.com account. So once you make your free account, you will be able to find that information too there. So I've mentioned about how do I know if I'm ready? This is a real common question students have. How do I know when to schedule your official GED test? And the only way that you will know you're ready is to take the GED Ready Practice Test. Okay, so the GED Ready Practice Test, as it says there, it is the let's see, it's the official test that you can purchase in your GED.com account. So say you feel like you studied social studies and you're feeling confident about it and you think you want to schedule your real test. Your first step would be to take the practice test. And that way you can see for sure if you're ready or not for the real test. So it's the only way to know if you're ready, and it's a really easy, your scores are easy to read and a great indicator. So once you take the GED Ready Practice Test, you'll either score in the green, which means go ahead and schedule your official test, or you'll score in the yellow, which means you should probably study more. You may be ready, but you might want to study more. And then if you get a score in the red, this just means that you should study a little more before you schedule your real test. And the good news is, you know, if you take classes with us and enroll in our classes, we do have a scholarship that we can, you can apply for. And actually the scholarship will cover the cost of the practice test and the real test. So that way with the scholarship, you know, you won't have to pay for any of those tests. All right, so how can you register for our classes? So to register for class, you're going to go to the Adult Learning homepage of Dallas Public Library. We have afternoon, evening, you can register for both. So for example, if you register for the afternoon class, you will get a Zoom invitation in your email, and that means you're going to be registered for every afternoon class. If you want evening class, you'll have to register in the evening. You'll get a separate Zoom invitation for evening, and then you'd be registered for all the evening classes. And let me see. Okay, so the requirements for the scholarship is all you need to do is complete an application. It's the only requirement. The application is really simple. It just asks your name, you know, your address, and then you need to write an essay. It's a 300-word essay, and all it is talking. You need to tell us a little bit more about what challenges have you overcome to get your GED. Okay, so you just fill out that application that we would send to you, and then write that essay. And then my coworker, Crystal, who actually processes those, she'll get your application and then she'll process that and she'll give you a voucher code. And then you can use that voucher code to schedule your test again through GED.com. But this time when you schedule, you'd have a voucher code you would put in, you wouldn't have to pay. So yeah, the only requirement for the application is just to complete the application and that essay. Okay. And okay. In addition to our online classes, we also offer GED Academy, and this is a great resource for students who want to study independently or who want to study outside of the classes. It's a free online study program, but you work through it at your own pace. And there's videos, there's practice tests, there are lessons, just a ton of great information. Okay, and anybody who requests that account, we can give them an account. You just need to email us here. So write this down. It's adultlearning@dallascityhall.com. That's our email. Not that check, I should take that out. But anyway, so adultlearning@dallascityhall.com. You just write us an email and you say, I'm interested in being enrolled in the GED Academy account program, and we'll give you an account and you can log in and you can study when on your own, independently, whenever you have time. Okay. So again, adultlearning@dallascityhall.com is where you can email to ask any questions you have about the GED. And if I can, I'd like to show this. I'd like to show everybody the web page where you can enroll in our classes. So just give me a quick second here. I'll see if I can do that. Okay, I'm gonna try and all right. Okay, let's see if I can show you now. I'm gonna share my screen. So hopefully you can see my screen now. It says Adult Learning Dallas Public Library. And let me know if you're not seeing that. Okay, so you see the homepage for Adult Learning at Dallas Public Library?
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you, Daisy. And then you just click on online learning and tell your friends or anyone you know. Sorry if you hear background noise. Okay, there's a lawn care happening outside. I don't know if you hear that, but you can anyway tell your friends or anyone. Go to online learning, because we also have a ton of English language classes which are free. We have conversation classes. We have citizenship classes in Spanish and in English. And then you got to scroll all the way to the bottom. And here you see our GED in Spanish and English GED classes. So it has my name there, but actually the classes, like I mentioned, are taught by volunteers who do an amazing job. And here's the information also about our online GED Academy. And I recommend email is a quicker way to get in touch with us now that we're at home. And so you just send us an email saying you would like to be enrolled in GED Academy, and we can do that for you. Okay. So that is my presentation on the GED classes and resources. Are there any questions?
Deborah, I have a question. So the GED classes have dates on them, but for the GED Academy, can people enroll whenever?
Yes, absolutely. So
Okay.
yeah, it kind of fills in that time between classes, and also when people are enrolled in classes, if they want to study outside of class, this is a great program to guide them on their independent study.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
I have a question. So know that the this fall semester of classes is just about over. If people wanted to sign up for February classes, when would they be able to do that?
Okay, that's a good question. I'm not exactly sure when those links will go up. I would guess it's going to happen in probably late January.
Okay.
Yeah, so if people just want to just kind of check the page to see when those are added. But there's not any limit to how many people can register.
That's good to know.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, looks like somebody is in the waiting room.
Okay. Any other questions or about?
Hi, Pablo. Did you have any questions that you wanted us to go over?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can go over any other questions or. Excuse me.
Kathy's asking what ages are the other students?
Oh, okay. What ages are the other students? That's a great question. Most of our students are adults, so I would say anywhere from 20 to 60 years old.
Okay, so there's a pretty wide variety.
Yeah, we have all age, wide variety of age groups. So
What else was I gonna ask? And then, so the GED, you have English GED classes and Spanish ones.
yes.
Okay, and everything is on the same calendar schedule.
Yeah, we do have for Spanish, we only have class in the evening, but English we do have afternoon and evening. And we do use Zoom. Yeah, Kathy asked about that. So yeah, the classes are on Zoom. So
and they'll be on Zoom next semester as well.
Yeah, as far as I know, we
Okay.
will be on Zoom next semester. Now, normally we have in-person classes. I don't have any indication yet that that's going to resume anytime soon. So,
okay.
Yeah, we're planning again next semester to do the Zoom classes. And some students ask, if I take the GED in Spanish, is that going to be valid or like is it going to be equivalent to the English GED? And it's exactly the same thing. It does not matter what language you take your tests in. In fact, your certificate won't say anything about, it doesn't say GED, and it doesn't say anything about what language you took the test in either.
Okay, so it's just a certificate that you passed.
Exactly. Yeah, it just says high school equivalency, that you've met the requirements according to the Texas Education Agency to be awarded your high school equivalency certificate.
The presentation is over. I'll send an email with all the links and information and the recording as well.
Great. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for
And
presenting.
yeah, and you're very welcome. And don't hesitate. Here's our email again. If any of y'all have questions, adultlearning@dallascityhall.com. We're always there to help in between semesters, during semesters. And currently Kathy asked about books. So with the online classes, we haven't been using books. The instructors just show the problems, online, and they work through things online together. So there's no books at this time.
We do have GED course books on the 6th floor. So if somebody wanted to check them out, they could do curbside pickup. You just request them in the catalog.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. If you can check a book out, good. That would be it's helpful too. So.
Alrighty. Anybody else have any other questions? Last call for questions. Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap up today a little early. And again, we're going to send a link to the recording and the links to adult learning and how to register as well after the program.
Alrighty. That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, alrighty. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Deborah.
Yeah, you're welcome.